The arrest of the Labour MP, and I think he's still the West of England Mayor, Dan Norris, on the suspicion of various offences, which I don't believe I can talk about on YouTube without getting heavily censored. But misconduct in public office, uh, it, it, it's something I brought up a few times. This sort of constitutional blind spot in how we treat members of Parliament who fall under the cloud of serious criminal suspicion. And Dan Norris, a long-serving Labour figure who famously unseated Jacob Rees-Mogg in the 2024 election, was arrested in April 2025 following allegations, some dating back to the 2000s and one as recent as 2020. And Avon and Somerset Police released him on conditional bail. He's been suspended by the Labour Party. Fine, he's lost the whip, but crucially, he remains an MP. Now, while Mr. Norris is no longer functioning as mayor because of his second job rules, I think, there's no mechanism short of conviction for Parliament itself to suspend or replace him as an MP. And if he'd been caught if he'd been bankrupted, then the Speaker could throw him out of the House. But somebody who has been arrested on serious charges, who faces a serious and protracted legal case, remains potentially in position in Parliament. And even if he's acting as an independent MP, and this seems to me to be an oversight which is again and again being faced. Mike Emery was another example of this. That's a fellow who punched a constituent. It seems that when we elect somebody to Parliament, the process for de-electing them is so complex, unless it's an offence. Unless it's a financial offence. If it's a financial offence, if it's bankruptcy, you don't come anywhere near us. It's like, and that's like some sort of constitutional cancer. But a criminal allegation, which in any normal job would lead probably to suspension, doesn't in the case of the person who is representing all his constituents. And that seems to be an oversight which is wrong. Who do you go to if you belong to that constituency? Who do you go to get proper representation in Parliament? So his constituents in North East Somerset and Hanham are now technically represented by a man who is under investigation for heinous crimes and therefore absent from Parliament. Norris, like all citizens, is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That principle is sacred. But one should also recognise that the innocent until proven guilty is a legal protection, not a shield against public or institutional accountability. And Parliament can remove an MP if they are jailed for a year or more. It can eject members for bankruptcy, but it cannot act if an MP is arrested, however severe the charges. And we're in this odd position where alleged financial incompetence is considered more disruptive to a parliamentary service than accusations of the abuse of children. This is absurd. Utterly absurd. Now, as I say, he is presumed innocent until found guilty. But the fact that he is constrained in the way he can fulfill his office automatically makes for a problem. So there should be within the parliamentary system a system for delegating the control of a neighbouring parliamentary seat to another member of Parliament of any party. It should be automatic. So what happens to constituents when their MP is effectively incapacitated, not through illness or resignation, but because of legal scrutiny? Do they have no recourse? In any other workplace, be it a school, a business, a charity, an arrest of this magnitude would lead to suspension pending investigation, both for practical and reputational reasons. The House of Commons is apparently the last workplace in Britain where that principle does not apply. And this exposes a democratic deficit. Constituents deserve active representation. They shouldn't be hostage to the slow wheels of criminal justice, especially in cases where the allegations carry such gravity and require sustained police inquiry. It's high time Parliament considers a mechanism of temporary delegation, a constitutional innovation that would allow another MP chosen by the party or perhaps by the Speaker to act in the name of the suspended colleague until such time as the matter is resolved. And such a delegated authority would maintain representation without prejudicing the accused. It allows the MP's constituency casework to continue, it ensures their community is not voiceless in debates and votes, and it preserves faith in Parliament's moral authority. This is not an abandonment of due process, it's an acknowledgement of practical reality and a commitment to democratic service. And to their credit, Labour acted swiftly to suspend Dan Norris. This was the correct response, but party discipline is not a substitute for institutional reform. It's not enough for political parties to act in isolation. Parliament itself must develop protocols that match public expectations and ethical standards. This isn't about guilt or innocence, it's about visibility, accountability, and whether we can trust the people who have been elected to represent us. Dan Norris, a man who spent years campaigning on child protection, now finds himself under investigation for offences that strike at the very heart of public confidence. While he may yet be exonerated, the silence that Parliament imposes on itself in these circumstances is not neutrality, it's abdication of responsibility. And we shouldn't have to wait for yet another scandal to act in this respect. We should modernise the rules of our representative democracy so that we are never again confronted by an empty seat in a silent chamber when our constituents need a voice.